Hello, everybody. This is Ultimate Arbiter 117, and I have a friend with me today, Omega Buster 101.
Hello, everybody. My name is Omega Buster 101, and this is going to be the Omega Arbiter podcast.
I like how you just sound so subtle there. Hello, we are doing the
Hello.
Omega Buster podcast.
Hello.
All right, so we have on our list today.
A
Um,
bunch of crap.
Yes, we have a bunch of crap. We're going to be going over different games
We're going to
and
be going over a bunch of steaming piles of crap, trying to ascertain the best crap there is.
yes, that's exactly what we're doing right now.
Steaming,
Because we've got nothing better to do with our lives, obviously.
steaming, turgid.
All right, so
Uh,
I guess we can go ahead by start by talking about the new Zelda game.
hmm.
Unless we want to talk about Zelda in general, or just start
Heck,
talking about Breath of the Wild right now.
let's just you know what? Let's talk about the new Zelda game. Let's talk about Breath of
All
the
right.
Wild for a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't know much about the game other than the fact that it's I think Eiji Onuma and who's the main guy that um
I don't know.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Sure, yeah.
Um
I think it is. I think it is actually, yeah.
yeah, okay. And they both had drawn some inspiration from Skyrim from what I had heard and seen. I really like the art style. It looks a lot like a painting in a way. Um, yeah, it's like a breath of fresh air, as some would describe it.
Honestly, the art style and the graphics kind of remind me of Wind Waker, almost.
Yeah, in a way, I would say they do remind me of Wind Waker. It's got that paint look to it, you
It,
know.
like
Um,
Link almost looks like,
he
Toon
looks
Link,
like a
right?
painting.
Well, yes, but Toon Link, right? In
Yeah,
Wind
yeah,
Waker. The
yeah.
Link in Breath of the Wild looks just like an adult Link from Wind Waker.
Except more realistic, of course,
Of
which
course,
does make sense.
that's just what graphics are these days.
Yeah, yeah. I think they did that on purpose, but I don't know. I don't have too much to say about the game. Um, Other than the fact, like, I mean, people have had so many theories, and
Yeah,
nobody really knows what's going on. I know you can like stray from the story pretty much
yeah,
and
you
kind of
can.
create your own story.
Mm-hmm. That's I think that's kind of the thing about it. Just go do whatever, and the bosses will be there later. You can just go
Yeah.
do.
You can just go ahead and go to town, probably save whenever you want.
Mm-hmm. Now, the only
Yeah.
things I think I remember are that you get like different weapon styles
Mhm.
for different things you can pick up. Like you get spear and you do all this kind of cool stuff with it. And I don't remember when you get this sword. I do not remember when.
I would not even know. I'm wondering if they're gonna even give you the Master Sword this time, because they do have the Temple of Time,
Yeah,
and wherever the Temple of Time usually is, the Master Sword is always there.
yeah.
Uh.
But
So, it is once again going to be open worlded like Skyrim, and I heard they even drew a lot of inspiration from the original Zelda game, the first
hmm
one, where you could just, do whatever you wanted. There wasn't even a story there.
yeah,
Which is still kind of sad to this day, but there really was a backstory there that nobody really paid attention to. It was just there.
yeah.
Um,
From what I can tell, um, the original Legend of Zelda is, I think, before Skyward Sword. and Skyward Sword is after Breath
Mm.
of the Wild. I'm not
You've
sure
got
about the
that
timeline.
all wrong.
I know the Zelda timeline is stupid.
Actually, the Zelda timeline is actually pretty intricate and amazing.
That's what I meant.
You said it was stupid.
Exactly.
It's intricate.
There's so many branching timelines that
Yeah, there's only three.
are you kidding? Sure, whatever you say,
Yeah.
buddy. All I know about Breath of the Wild is that you can fight the boss in like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
You can skip the
basically,
rest of
you
the
know,
game, fight the final boss, and just have the credits. It's the
which
easiest game
is
to
gonna be
speedrun.
very challenging, if you don't have the right equipment, though.
Bah.
Um,
Give
but
me
if
a
it is
rock, I
going
can
to be
still run it.
open worlded, then I think, I mean, people had theories on Link dying. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense because if Link dies, then you don't have anything to play with afterwards. You don't have anything to use.
Well, true,
Um,
but I mean, look at Majora's Mask. Look at how many theories surround that one.
yeah, oh
That's like
gosh,
the end
yeah.
of the timeline there.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's the end of
Of the adult timeline.
adult timeline. So Skyward Sword takes place at the beginning of the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And then Minish Cap and so on and so forth until you hit Ocarina of Time, which is the splitting point for the other three timelines.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the adult timeline, you have the fallen timeline, and then you have the childhood timeline. I believe that uh, I don't know. This is just my own theory, but I believe that that Breath of the Wild might fall into the adult timeline. Um, it does look like a darker story, but from what the developers have told us, it actually isn't. Even though you're gonna have a lot of crying moments, they said they literally wanted to make you cry. They were gonna focus way more on story, um, which is kind of different considering the fact that you can pretty much do what you want in that game.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's really interesting because I saw like Zelda crying and Link holding her in his arms, and boy, it was
I wonder if you
just
would get like, like animal allies
you
along the
probably
way,
could.
because
I
I think you
know
can tame some like boar or something
you
to like
can
eat.
definitely tame any horse you want. Basically, it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like a GTA, where you can just like
Just
borrow
take
any
someone's
car and take
horse.
it to your garage. Basically, you're literally just doing that with the horses in the entire.
Link
They're
sees a horse. This is mine now.
Link is no longer Link the Pot Smasher. He is Horse Stealer. Oh
Link, the
man,
hero of time, riding in on a
someone else's
stolen
horse.
donkey. Riding in on a stolen donkey.
Yes, he
The
is
Battle
truly the hero
Ganondorf.
of time now, the hero of courage,
The hero of cowardice, maybe.
the hero of cowardice. Oh man. See, we are we may be joking about this game, but this game could be wind up being more serious than we might have expected.
Oh yeah, it's not even out yet. It's
Yeah, I
not even
mean,
past development all the way yet.
yeah. One thing I would definitely like to see, at least in a future Zelda game, if we get said future Zelda game, is I don't know. I would like to see them being married and actually like working together to be able to protect their family and to protect Hyrule. But there
Ain't
would
no
be
one,
that giant story aspect to it.
ain't no one says Link gonna get with Zelda.
He's gotten with Zelda multiple times apparently because this timeline wouldn't even continue if it didn't. The timeline wouldn't have even started. um,
Not Zelda ain't the only woman.
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there.
Well, this is true. I mean, here is my theory. I believe what it seems like is that they get together, they get married, and then they have kids, and then another generation of Link and Zelda appear just, later on. Basically, probably like hundreds of years later. Um, and so begins Minish Cap.
But that's
You
just
know,
a reference. A
it's
YouTube reference.
but that's just a reference. YouTube. Well, and I believe that is a good theory. We do know officially that Minish Cap does come after, Skyward Sword due to that box that kept all the evil inside, basically. Um, which I think is just like it definitely leads right into it, and it should scare you because Vati was the one that released all that. If Vati
But
hadn't have done anything, the timeline wouldn't have continued, basically. Um,
yeah, I'm just nodding my head because I've never played Minish Cap. Just like, sure, yes, this
I
is
hope you've
correct.
at least. I hope you at least get a chance to look at the story aspect of it, because it does have a good story. Um, man. But I mean, but despite all that, once again, I do believe that this will probably fall into the adult timeline. Um,
I mean,
just
probably because he's adult-esque in the game
yeah,
already.
but oh man, either that or the child timeline, which is where Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess happen.
I severely doubt that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
He
possible.
looked like he was
We've seen
16,
him.
17. Okay.
We've seen his adult self in Twilight Princess. So it's none of these sequels are direct except Majora's Mask and a couple of others. Like Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. Those are the two main, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are direct sequels. And those are like the only two Zelda, like the only four Zelda games that actually connect. The
Mhm.
rest are just hundreds of years later, basically,
Mhm.
after each other. Um, we, and that's I don't know. I really like that aspect of the timeline. It
Yeah.
definitely brings a sense of I don't know. You want to help me out here?
The timeline is cool, but it's convoluted as all get out.
Yeah, I mean
You have to go
it's
back and forth and forward and back and diagonal and forward and back and up and down and west and
uh,
east and down the
timeline
hole for some
is.
reason.
See, now it sounds like you're just talking about Majora's Mask specifically.
Everything links to Majora's Mask.
Everything revolves around the Majora's Mask. Yes.
Little did you know, in Breath of the
Oh.
Wild, the final boss is the moon from Majora's Mask.
Dag nabbit! Not again! I have to fight that thing again. That was so. No! That boss is already difficult enough. I mean, I don't even think I officially beat Majora's Mask. I know I got, like, close, but not that close. I got to, like, the fourth temple or something like that. Uh,
uh,
um,
but enough about the new Zelda. Let's talk about the other Zeldas.
yeah, since this is a good transitioning point, we've already started talking about the timeline like 10 minutes ago, so. um, Once again, I'm going to bring this out there.
Hmm.
Skyward Sword is literally my second favorite game of the Zelda franchise, of the
Okay.
Zelda universe. Now, I understand that you put the game at your top five at least, and I'm actually very appreciative of that.
It's somewhere in there.
Yeah, I mean it's at least top five at best. For you at least. I want to say top two because of the story aspect, and it's just it's really character driven. You may not think about it like that at first, but as you progress, and start doing side quests and stuff like that throughout the entire story, you'll see there's way more story into it. I have you seen that twist at the end?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, this is like a 5-year-old game. I'm pretty sure everybody knows
I'm
about.
sure everyone knows about it.
the twist at the end where Sheik Sheikah was actually the um
Zelda
the
all
old
along.
lady. She, from the sealed temple. And really interesting twist there. I think that was kind of cool how they tied that in. It seemed as she grew up basically, at least on her side of the story. As she
Mhm.
grew up, she started to become more patient with things,
Mhm.
especially with Link, because she was kind of mad at Link at the beginning
Mhm.
for being late. Yeah, I think that's a good character flaw for Link. He's kind of that late type. He doesn't. He's not exactly lazy. He's just you know, procrastinating, I guess,
Sure,
in a
that sounds
way.
good. But
um, yeah, I mean, I want you to go ahead and express your complaints, at least, just to get it out there.
all right.
Um, because I do feel like the good things outweigh the negative, when it comes to Zelda games.
Uh,
Except Zelda 2, of course.
uh, well, like it's not a bad game, okay? The game mechanics are okay, even though the motion controls can be a little wonky sometimes, and the bosses don't really have room for error a lot. Especially the first boss. Have you seen some people trying to fight the first boss and just getting their sword taken away?
Yes, now that was the worst part. Oh gosh, yeah, you don't have very big room for error there.
Yeah.
However, if you do manage to get it right,
If you manage to get it
which
right, it's easy.
is yeah, it's actually really easy to fight that boss if you get it right. It's not as bad as you would think it would be. Um, it's more of that first phase that's the worst. That
Uh huh.
second phase is a whole lot easier because then he just sends his little things out of the way, and then you can slash him, and then he kind of gets stunned for a second. You're able to attack him. I
Mm,
don't even know how to pronounce that guy's name.
yeah. Whatever.
He kind
Um.
of reminds me of Grima Wormtongue from The Lord of the Rings. Ugh.
And next thing I kind of don't like about it, bomb bowling is useless. Why is it there? It's used
um,
for one thing, I think.
it's used for like two or three things, and that's it. Like it's that's
What? Why would you do an underarm throw to throw a bomb? Just throw it like a normal being, a normal human. Like, stop trying to be cool. You're not.
Link's got style now, I guess.
Sorry, I'm a little salty.
Link's got style now, I guess. Now, I do have this one complaint about the bomb bowling. Despite its usefulness or uselessness, actually, rather, um, I want to say that. Oh, okay, okay. I know exactly what I'm gonna say now. You have to stand up almost. You cannot do this in a chair. It's it's literally like bowling for
Just actually like bowling.
or the Wii or the Wii bowling
Oh, jeez, the motion
from Wii
controls
Play.
though, dude. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate motion controls. Motion controls can go die in a hole.
At least it's not as heavy as a real ball, right?
I don't know. It's like worse sometimes.
Yeah.
At least with a real ball, you can control it.
Yeah, yeah.
With a Wii remote, you just
You have to
and then
angle
you
it right, and it doesn't always work. Yeah, I
yeah, and then you have to
know.
point the remote at the TV, or not even the TV. You have to point it at the Wii, which is usually like on the
I know.
floor, and
Yeah.
it's like nope, I
How am
can't
I
get it.
trying to? What am I doing here?
It
How am I
looks like
trying
your
to do
arm is
this?
having a seizure almost.
Yeah.
Just
That's the
trying to.
Wii for
I'm
you,
just
man.
trying to play a game.
Speaking of motion controls, so I think this is probably the best aspect to come out of a Zelda game. Is the ability, the way you use a sword. It's not by pressing A. It is by actually feeling like you're using the sword.
I would
Um,
prefer to press A. I hate motion
yeah.
controls.
Uh, um, I think it's just a new aspect that feels right. The way they did it, at least, it felt right. Um, I want to say in any other instance, it probably wouldn't work. Um,
Yeah,
this is
that's
probably
true.
the first time something like that has been tested out.
Yeah, that's a good
It
point.
it feels good in the hands, at least in this game.
Yeah, when you do it right, it feels good.
Yeah.
Once again, the first boss fight, a complete beast, and
Yeah.
unless you know what you're doing, which I
Oh yeah.
don't.
Yeah. Um.
The next thing I don't like about this game, on the surface, like when you're in the normal towns and all that, it's beautiful. The graphics are beautiful. It's all
Oh
gorgeous. The
yeah, when
sky
you're
is
in
blue.
Skyloft.
The
Yeah.
clouds are white, and
Yeah.
it's all beautiful, right? When you
Yeah.
actually fly in that game, where's the white, fluffy, beautiful clouds? Where's the blue
They're all
sky?
gold now.
It's it's disgusting. It's like sulfuric acid clouds and like smog from Japan sky. And there's nothing to do when you fly. Like give me an obstacle course. Give me something to
Yeah.
dodge.
Yeah. At least like giving me a chance to like use my sword to figure out like flying enemies coming at me or something like that,
Yeah, and
Which would
that's
have been kind of cool. I mean, like that's what I liked about Termina Field and Majora's Mask is like they actually gave you stuff to work with.
yeah. And
Yeah.
like even the like little DS games like Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, they have big wide open areas, but they also have things to do in those big open areas.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
shooting a cannon in Phantom Hourglass. You're moving a train with a
While shooting a
cannon
cannon.
in
Yeah.
Spirit Tracks. You're doing a lot of stuff in there. And in
Mhm.
Skyward Sword, you're just, you're flying. I'm gonna steer right. No, I'm gonna steer
Uh-oh.
left. Oh no, I'm
And
drifting
then
lazily
you
to the
have
right.
to angle down just to go faster. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, like why? um despite once again all these negatives, despite the game being so linear, it's still a great game. I mean, compared to like at least it's not like a Star Wars prequel or a Halo 5 or anything like that. It's nothing like that. It's still an amazing game. You can still have fun with it and things just work out well.
I can have fun with it. It's not my favorite games. My favorite games, once again, are Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Link of Time, Ocarina of Time,
Link of
and
Time, wait, what?
you
Oh,
know,
you mean A Link to the Past?
yeah, Link to the Past,
Yeah,
Link
the
of
original.
Time. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Link of Time.
Link.
Maybe that'll be the next Zelda game.
Uh-huh.
Sure, we've got two A Link to the Past now. Now we
Link,
just need a third.
Legend of Zelda, Link to the Link, the missing
A
link.
Link to the Link. A missing link. Go find Link, guys. Now you're playing as Princess Zelda.
You're just playing Where's Waldo, basically. Just like Where's Waldo Zelda version.
So you're playing as Zelda while looking for Link, basically, and all these like trillions of like other links. You gotta find the right link.
They're all just the Link from the bad cartoon that was
Oh
like in the
god!
80s.
Oh gosh, that horrible thing.
They're
Oh,
all just
not.
that Link, and the you have to find the real one.
At least that cartoon, that cartoon may have been bad, but it wasn't as horrible as the Mario show, honestly.
I just wonder what Ganon's up
Oh, excuse me, princess. um, one of the okay, I think that this to be one of the greatest Zelda games of all time, if not the best. Ocarina of Time. There are so many interesting aspects to it. And I don't even know if they're describable or not.
the favorite parts of Ocarina of Time for me were the temples. I had the most fun in the temples.
Yeah, yeah.
Hyrule
Um,
Field, not really all
yeah, it was
that
kind of
much.
boring, honestly. There, once again, Skyloft, compared to, um, you
Skylander
know, t
compared to
well, not
everything else.
Skyloft, but because that's a town, but this the sky basically. When you're
Yeah.
in the sky flying around, there's nothing to do. There, once again, there is nothing to do, but at night you've got skeletons coming out and trying
Yeah.
to kill you. They look like Koopas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, I don't know if
Koopas.
that's on purpose.
Koopas.
They do have that nose, so maybe they aren't Koopas so much, but I don't know, they kind of do look like Koopas a little bit.
I mean, I guess. I'm
Or
gonna.
evil alligators. Evil walking alligators. that, that nose, man.
I mean, I'm gonna look up the stinking skeleton enemies from Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time. Yes, I'm doing this live. I don't
Well,
care.
you're doing this live, Scott. Oh man.
Skeletons and well, good.
Yes, yes. That's what we need. Whatever that means.
I forget how doofy these things looked.
I told you they looked weird.
Just,
They look like
just
alligator people or
these
something like
little
that.
Koopa-like things with
I told
puppet-like
you they looked like
arms.
Koopas.
You were telling the truth. They just look like they're going yeah,
Yeah,
just all the
yeah, yeah.
time.
They make the weirdest noise
Yeah.
too, like, like oh man.
There's a meme. There's a meme of a skeleton just sitting on a bench outside. The meme is just still playing Ocarina of Time.
Because everyone's doing that, I mean, and see, that's the cool thing about Ocarina of Time is like people still play it to this day. It's an amazing game. I mean, it's just the mechanics felt right. Compared to Majora's Mask, mechanics were very similar,
Hmm.
except the horrifying going back in time constantly. Oh gosh, like you would run out of time so quick, even if you slowed time down. It just was, it was shattering. Like it was horrifying, basically.
Hmm.
Um,
And the only thing I have against it now is that the graphics are a little dated.
yeah, but
It's
when
it's
you
very
once again
dated
when you
now.
go to you know while the graphics are dated, they don't feel very aged. They actually have aged pretty well. until you go into the new 3DS versions of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, which look amazing. They finally fixed the boot problem that everybody complained about in that game. Oh, gosh.
Wait, what?
Oh, the Iron Boots, if you remember the water temple,
Oh yeah, I
the
remember.
worst temple ever to be created in the history of anything. Like,
Yep.
oh man, and they actually have kind of like they have these lights now that kind of guide you through the temple.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll tell you like, okay, this is where you need to go, you know.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause this was a very confusing temple, and you would get lost so quick. Um, Even though it was a small temple, there was like a main central point, and it would lead out to other points.
Yep.
And yes, you need the iron boots, and what you would have to do would go back to the start menu. Now, on the 3DS version, you can just, do it with a click of a button. Because you can
Mm-hmm.
put the boots as an item.
Yep.
Um,
Nintendo knows what they're doing with Zelda,
oh
and
yeah, they really do.
other games too, like Mario. Sure, why not? And another thing.
Definitely Pokemon.
Yeah. Yep. And that's a pretty good tie-in to our next little section here.
Yeah,
We're
we've
gonna be talking
got.
about Pokemon now.
We're gonna be talking about um,
The
just
Pokermans.
Pokemon in general.
Talking about the Pokermans here.
The Pokemans. Even though it's short for Pocket Monster.
Ain't
um,
no one care what it's called that what it was called then. It's called
yeah.
Pokemon now.
Now, eventually, what I want is a podcast dedicated to, and we could probably do this for podcast too, but what I really want is a podcast dedicated to the Diamond and Pearl remakes. If we're getting those.
I doubt
um,
there's enough uh, content there to do a podcast of only Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes.
There actually might be. There doesn't have to be, but there might be. I mean, what we could do is probably talk about the aspects and what we loved about the game and game design. But, for now, we're just going to talk about Pokemon in general and where the series is going. I'm at fault for not playing, for not playing Sun. I got at the beginning of the game and I stopped playing all of a sudden. I want to say the cutscenes look amazing so far, though.
They are.
From what I've seen, um, I don't know what that little floating ball thing is, but I'm assuming that's gonna come into play later. Um,
If only. Yes. Yes.
and then I have to finish Delta series, and I have to go. That means I have to restart Ruby all the way through because I had a problem with my cartridge. I really didn't want to deal with that problem, but yeah, um, so there is that. So I gotta replay Ruby as well. Omega Ruby at least.
Okay. Well, in, instead of
And
that, how about tell us what your favorite gen is
oh
and
yeah.
why?
Once again, we're gonna go back to Ruby. Here we go. I like how that was a nice tie-in
Well, at
there.
least you're not a Gen 1er.
Yeah, I mean, there are some good Gen 1ers
Nothing
out
against
there,
Gen
though.
1.
There,
I like
no, I
Gen 1.
we love Gen 1. Um, it's just not my favorite of the bunch. Oh boy, was Gen 1 challenging, but Gen 3 has to be the most, for me, either the first or second most well balanced game that we've had when it comes to Pokemon games. I love the mechanics. I do kind of miss the day and night aspect that you could do with it, but once again, they went back and rechanged that all with Omega Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and from what I can understand, there are actually two timelines to Pokemon now when it comes to the games. There's the there's the aspect of, there's the timeline of the Mega Evolutions, and then there's a second timeline where it just goes into normal, into the older games, when none of that existed. So,
I think it's just an alternate universe, not a brand new
yeah, pretty
timeline.
much it would just be an alternate universe, but. And that's what's so beautiful at Pokemon. They're not changing the lore, they're adding upon it. I mean, and that was what's so cool about, that is what is so well done with Pokemon.
Hmm.
Once again, we're just gonna go back to Gen 1 and I'm gonna explain why. There were just so many nostalgic memories. I remember the music and, they did the constant trumpets that I don't know, I really liked that for some reason. I think it was like a nice motif to the music at least in terms of that.
Yeah. My favorite, you obviously already know this, but it's Gen 4.
Yes, Gen 4. Oh man. See, this is my controversy between Gen 4. I don't know which to go with first. I don't know whether I like Gen 4 more sometimes or Gen 3 more. It really just depends, and if we get a remake, I'm going to have even more controversy between it.
Hmm. I loved the story. I liked the story. I liked the
Oh
pacing.
man, Team Galactic, man.
I
All the
love Team
way.
Galactic.
Man, they are so cool. Their music, they're just oh my gosh. And Cyrus's his battle theme.
Cyrus's
Oh my
theme. Hmm.
goodness. Wow. If you hear the orchestrated version, it's just even more wow, but
I have like
yeah.
many things I could show you.
I mean, um
Yep. Not only is it my favorite gen because of nostalgia, that's the first game I ever played of Pokemon, but it had the most legendaries, and that was fun.
actually that yeah, there was that. They had brought in some old legendaries. They added in the three lake Pokemon.
Hmm.
And then, after you completed the game itself, you were able to get even more legendaries, from the other gens.
Uh-huh.
So there were just so many legendaries that you could get. Um, that was one of my complaints about, Ruby and Sapphire, of course. And I never completed the game as a kid, um, but growing up, when I was about like maybe 16, I finally got the game back from Sapphire, and I was able to play that. At least I don't remember when I actually fully got the game back, but I was able to go back and replay everything that I had remembered except with Team Aqua, and I'm like, oh man, like I just miss, Team Magma. They were so much cooler. Their designs were amazing, you know.
I liked, I
Um,
loved Aqua.
Yeah, I mean, of course, here Scott's the complete opposite of what I am when it comes to Gen 3.
Archie is a
Team
freaking
Aqua has some
pirate.
really good
He's
designs.
cool.
Yeah, what?
Archie is a pirate. He's cool.
I know.
He's
Well, the new
literally,
Archie, anyways.
he's literally a pirate.
Yeah, I mean, that's so cool. I mean, and
And then
of course, when
Maxie
you
is
get into
just
M,
the same.
yeah, Maxie is just the same. But I like what they did with the new design of Maxie. He looks amazing. He looks like an actual scientist now.
Maxie's a he.
Yeah, yeah, Maxie's a he. Are you thinking of a different character? Because Maxie's
No.
actually a guy.
Um, all this time I thought Maxie was a girl. A particularly ugly girl, but still a girl.
Wow, is it just because of the long hair? I mean,
Just the name Maxie. Who names their son Maxie?
wow,
Just
dude, you
name him
thought.
Max.
What an embarrassment to you, though.
I don't
All
care.
this time, you thought he was a girl. Dang, man.
I don't
Dang.
care. I have the game that has the awesome pirate in it. I don't care about the vice
Well, I've
president.
got the one that has the cool looking scientist now.
Cool looking. She looks like the vice
uh,
president.
those glasses though, man. Those glasses just really do it.
Archie has an anchor. He wears a
Archie does
gold
have an
anchor
anchor.
on his neck.
Wow, you're just getting all these things mixed up
Shut
today,
up.
aren't you?
Look, Maxie is a girl to me, okay?
Wow, dude. Wow. uh, uh,
That's a girl's
wow.
name. He needs to change it to Max.
Wow. Yeah, he probably should change it to Max. But look, the rest of Team Magma, though, I guarantee you, their designs are amazing. I like the whole hoodie thing going on there. That was pretty cool. And the horns on top of the hoodies, they just they kind of add to it. Um, oh, and their theme, both of their themes, Maxie and Arch, the boss
They're the
themes are
same.
the exact same, and the normal battle themes are the exact same.
Yeah,
Um,
they're exactly the same.
they literally are the same team.
The battle themes, they're the exact same.
So they're in alternate universes, with Pokemon Sapphire and Ruby. Their battle themes are the same.
Yes. Yes, they are.
I think I just came up with a new conspiracy theory now.
What?
Hashtag Illuminati.
Oh, jeez, Josh. What's your silly theory?
Illuminati confirmed, guys. Alternate dimensions, same themes,
Uh,
different looks. They're all the same people. Illuminati confirmed. Oh man.
how does your brain function, Josh?
I don't know. um, and I mean, it's just they're both amazing games. Though I have played the other side. I have definitely played Sapphire. They're literally the exact same games, but with some with different Pokemon. And
And
in different
Sapphire
areas,
has
of
less fire
course.
types.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't. That was kind of the letdown about Gen 4 was there were very few fire type Pokemon and
There's been
most of
very few
them
fire type Pokemon until like Gen 5.
I know like and even still now there are still very few fire type Pokemon. I wish there were more honestly. There's more of a rarity in Pokemon games honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Um so we have that. I mean, oh gosh, and like let's not even like talk about the cartoon. Oh man. Oh.
The anime does have some good points to it, but
It has good
then
points, but
again,
Ash keeps failing like every single battle and it's
yeah,
so bad
I was about to
like
say, then again, it's Ash, so my
yeah.
argument is irrelevant.
Yes. um and this brings us into our next section of the podcast. We're going to be talking about anime a little bit now. What kind of animes do we like in general?
Sailor Moon remade sucked.
Yes, that's oh gosh. I mean,
I
I
didn't even watch it, but I
love the
knew it sucked.
yeah. I mean, I love the original Sailor Moon way better. It's animated far better. It may be older, but it holds up. Um, it holds up way more than this new one ever probably will.
I haven't
Oh,
watched
it's
Sailor
bad.
Moon.
Like, it's
I
the
don't
new
like.
one is bad. Like, I don't. So much expository dialogue went into it. It's like just show me the characters. Don't explain who they are. I want to know who they are by getting to know them.
That's what they tried to do. That's another way to. You know this. We've been over this many
Yeah, but
times
it's
before.
you can't just like once again, like when it comes to story making, you don't want to just say who your characters are. You want to, if you're going to say who your characters are, at least show us at the same time.
Mhm.
Otherwise, just show us and don't tell. You know, it's a
Mhm.
big story aspect that definitely belongs where it needs to belong. And I'm pretty sure you can kind of agree with me on that. You know, you can't just sit there and explain things the whole time. You have to show us as well. You know, and a little bit of expository dialogue is good. Um, but you have to do it right, basically.
Okay. I have
Yeah.
a challenge for you, Josh. Name three animes that aren't Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, uh, or One Piece.
Okay. Oh, this is gonna tie right into our next little section here that we are going to go on. We just started talking about anime in general.
Or that one. That one is going to
Yeah.
be a little later, buddy. So that one
Okay,
is out
so
too.
that one's out of the picture then.
Yeah, that one's out for now.
Uh, I mean, I think Sword Art Online deserves to be in this category here.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
that's anime.
shoot.
Come on, think, think.
Oh man,
You don't watch
they're like
anything.
I haven't seen too many animes. That's the sad part.
You watch nothing.
Um, oh, there was that. There was that one that you described to me about how my art style was. I guess it was like a show where they used mecha or something like that.
Oh
Um,
yes, Gurren Lagann.
yeah. Wait, how do you pronounce that?
Gurren Lagann.
Gurren Lagann. So there is that one. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one.
Hmm.
Scott doesn't necessarily like this one because he thinks it's too old. I say it holds up. And there are so many fans to it as well. Robotech.
Hmm.
Um, there is that whole conspiracy behind Harmony Gold that they ruined the series and that it was never a series to begin with, but three separate animes, and it was at first, but then when Harmony Gold came in, um, they merged these three different animes together and they made it become a series.
Hmm.
Those animes had nothing to do with each other at the time. Um, but once again, when Harmony Gold came into the picture, they they put everything together. I
Good job, buddy.
Yeah,
Good job, buddy.
that was hard, but
Pass the challenge.
especially with that second one, because I wasn't even thinking about Robotech at the time, but that second one, once again, I still have no idea how to pronounce the name too. I say we go over it in this podcast before I embarrass myself even further.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Well, you want to go on to the next section here?
Yeah, but let's learn how to pronounce the name first. That's
What?
before I embarrass myself. I mean,
What? Which one?
let's
Which one are we talking about?
the anime, the with the mecha and stuff.
Oh, Gurren Lagann?
Gurren Lagann.
Yes.
Am I pronouncing that right?
Good enough, buddy.
I have seen the art style, and it kind of does look similar because they have like thicker line art and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
It really does look like your art sometimes.
Yeah, and I never even thought about that anime. I never,
Well, that's
I,
gonna tie into another section, so let's
yeah.
go on.
Um, all right, so I guess we can go ahead and get started with like the real thing that we wanted to talk about.
The Hunter x Hunter?
Yes.
Yes. Let's talk about Hunter
Um,
x Hunter. How far have you gotten, buddy?
how far have I gotten into Hunter x Hunter? I have gotten up to the Nen and Ren stuff. As far as I know, I think I believe that Gon is going to fight Hisoka eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and of course, like this is like 2 or 3 episodes after Hisoka won his battle against the
Against
what
that
the other
one guy.
guy,
Mm-hmm.
that one guy, yeah.
You'll
He
remember his
literally
name.
had some tricks. He literally had some tricks up his sleeve. In fact, if anything, he had tricks up his arm, his actual arm. He like ripped his arm off and like pulled a card out, which was
Good deal.
pretty disgusting, but but it worked. He cut his own arms off. Pretty crazy. Or at least he let him get cut off. But he was able to put the other arm back together. Um, you know,
Yep.
um, then this other girl was, helping him out later, and it turns out, Hisoka was part of the Phantom Troop, but then there was like there was also that other twist. Like Hunter x Hunter just continues to amaze me every time. There was yet a third twist. I thought I had spoiled the whole show for myself. That he was part of the Phantom Troop when I looked on Google Images at one time. But it turns out there is yet another twist. He is not part of the Phantom Troop at all.
No. He used to
Nope.
be.
Um, well, he was. I believe he said he was like faking it or something like that because he wanted to get something out of it. Um,
Somewhat,
and
yeah.
the tattoo was even fake, basically. So,
That's wrong.
um, that's wrong.
Yeah, it's not fake. It's definitely there. He was a part of the Phantom Troop. He still kind of
Okay,
is, like off and on. But
right.
he's just he just does whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's more of like that outlandish type of character. He I'm wondering, because I don't want you to spoil this for me, of course, but he's so good. Was he there when they destroyed Kurapika's clan?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
um, okay. Because that would have been kind of, a little bit of an interesting twist if he was. It would giving Kurapika even more of a motive to, you know, go against Hisoka. Even though they're on two separate paths right now.
Mhm.
Um, so I believe I'm coming close to the Hisoka battle. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
I just know they're still in the tower right now.
I
Um,
know you need to watch it.
yeah, I do. I do need to watch it. You're right.
You
You're right.
probably have like
Um,
4 or 5 episodes to uh, go,
yeah,
so you can catch up on those, and then
yeah,
just
yeah,
wait until next week for it.
yeah. I know there was Gon that hurt his arm a while back ago. Like, he had to
Right.
like wait 2 months, yada yada yada. I was amazed about how fast his arm healed, though. I really, I thought it was pretty cool, but I'm wondering if he used his Nen to be able to heal it so quick.
Probably.
Um, or in general, because that kid, man, that kid's tough though, like really tough. Um, my gosh, I can't even describe it really.
Mhm.
Um,
Mm. Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, so far, all in all, Hunter x Hunter is one of my favorite animes now.
Mhm.
Um, even though I'm not even finished with it yet, but that's okay. I mean, that's kind of the point of forming an opinion. It's like it's only still forming right now, so
Mhm.
you
Just
know.
wait until you get to the Chimera in the dark.
Oh gosh, I don't even know what that is.
You're gonna
And
find out in like 50 episodes.
I'm assuming we're gonna get back to Kurapika's story eventually too, to where that guy was talking to him. Some weird random guy on the street that was helping him learn Nen and Ren.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll
Um,
get back to that.
okay, so there is that. I was wondering if they were gonna get back to it at all. What about Leorio?
Um, there's a few episodes after the Chimera Dark, that are in the anime right now, and Leorio makes a return there.
Okay, okay. Well, that's cool because they all promised they would meet up eventually. Yeah, I'm assuming he's studying for his like doctor's degree or whatever, whatever he's doing, because he did want to become a doctor. So,
Probably.
um, and the only problem is that you have yet another interesting twist to where they never actually finished their hunter licenses. They have, I don't know, I guess in a way, what they have now is just a permit, pretty much. In a sense, they only have like a learner's permit or whatever,
Well,
and they don't have their actual license yet.
John's a real hunter, but Killua isn't.
No, I know that, but the old guy said that that they're not officially hunters yet,
Um, when was this?
unless he's lying. It was like right after they had left right after they got their cards, and the chairman,
Oh
um,
yeah. So Gon is definitely a
not
real
officially
hunter.
a hunter yet.
He's a real hunter.
Well, he's a real hunter, but he's not a completely official. He
Whatever
said
you
that.
want to say, Josh. He's a
Well,
real
I
hunter.
don't know, cause what he had said, I don't remember his exact quote, but he had said, they're not hunters just yet. They have like one more thing to do, and I'm assuming that's the Nen and Ren stuff.
I don't think so. At
Um,
least I'm not sure. I don't remember
I
it
don't
too
know.
well.
Maybe you'd have to like go back and look at that, of course.
Probably. Whatever.
Anyways, we
Alright,
might
enough
get
of
that straightened out eventually.
whatever.
All
Who
right, enough
cares?
of that.
I know more than you.
Yes. Well. Yeah. Um. All
Alright,
right. So
on to the next section, eh?
yeah. I guess we can go over like some of our characters and stuff like that now.
Yeah.
Um.
Do you even
um.
know? Do you even remember him?
Kind of. All right.
For those
So
of you who are wondering what
nobody's
we're
aware of
doing,
anything what's going on right now.
yeah.
So I guess you
So
can
for those
explain
of you
it
who are
since.
wondering, Josh has been making a manga on the side for a while now, and he
Um.
started in. Well, I guess he kind of started in high school when it was a Pokemon universe kind of thing,
Yeah, we were
and
gonna do like a universe thing for like for like all my friends were gonna be in it and stuff like that.
hmm
And it would take place like in the timeline of the Pokemon universe, but like a couple years further or whatever.
yeah. And
Yeah, so
so that was a bust, and it didn't happen. So he's been drawing on the side ever since then, and I just called him up one day, and he wanted to do a manga. So I was like, yeah, sure, do it, dude. Let's go for it. I was like, okay, and here we go. So he's been
yeah, so
drawing on the side for this little manga he's doing for about, I don't know, a year and a half now.
like 2 years, I think. Yeah, and then like it just
And
once
we
again that was not exactly a bust, but I promise it will happen.
and we have the designs
I
for the
just
character.
well. Well, I think
and
you're
that's
getting a
all.
little bit mixed up here. Because what it was, is I had created my own manga series,
Hmm.
originally, and with my own characters, I have their character designs. I even started with the story itself. Never got around to finishing it just yet.
Didn't really get around to much of it.
Yeah, and then Scott called me up this time. After like about 3 years of working on this thing from since high school. It
And I
he called
basically,
me up.
yeah, I basically told him, you're not doing much for your first story. Just scrap some of the characters, take the good characters, and put it in another story.
Yeah, which we didn't exactly do as per se, but we used some of the similar I don't know what you want to call it. We use like a similar like story aspect to it,
Mm-hmm.
except it's just more elaborate. And now eventually I will get back to my original manga series, and what we're gonna wind up having doing is I think of what I wanted to do at least, since Scott had come up with me with this new story idea, was we could make my story into an alternate universe.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have this new story. See, my story was going to be called originally the Blazing Runner, and then I decided to change it to Guardian Angels later. So you still haven't come up with a title for your story
I
yet.
thought we were calling it the Guardian Angels.
Mm-mm, that was my original name for it. Sounds like you don't
I
have
thought
a
that was the
basis yet.
you.
No.
Your thing was Blazing Runner, and the Guardian Angels was gonna be the thing for this alternate universe thing. That was
Yeah,
what we were going
I
for.
think you've got that mixed up now, 'cause
No, 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 no. You're still trying to blame
oh
this on
man.
me, buddy.
All right, no, no, no. I'll tell you. Okay, so I'll tell you really how this happened. I had come up with the idea. I because I had added more characters into my story. The story that I was working on. I had originally came up with the Blazing Runner, but then I added more characters, and I said, you know what, frick it, I want, you know, I want to have a team name now, and I want that team name to be the title of the story. So I called it the Guardian Angels. Now, once again, we can use that title now, but my story would once again be part of an alternate universe, of course. Still, I'm confused about what I'm going to call my story. As you can see, we're not very
It would
organized
just be
with this.
called the Blazing Runner. Your original thing would be called the Blazing Runner, and it would
Yeah,
revolve around you, your character, and the others are gonna not gonna be like a team, but they'll be, side characters.
yeah, yeah. Now, I
This is
mean,
gonna
like
be a team.
eventually, yes. This is going to be a team with Scott's story. My characters were set off to be a team much later in the
Yeah.
story, in the series, and so I'm kind of disorganized with my own stories right now, which is, oh boy, I hope I don't. You know. And eventually, what I'm gonna have Scott do is write all my dialogue and the actual story while we, go over it. But until then, we're gonna be working on his story for now. Um, so Scott, I guess you can go ahead and describe your story to me now.
Well, first off, quiz time, Josh.
Oh, great.
How many characters
Pop
can you
quiz.
remember?
All right, so yeah, I've been ignoring this question because I had to think about it for a second.
Yeah.
All right, so the first character we had initially came up with was your character, I believe. And we were just gonna call him Scott. um, um, and I cannot remember his superhero name.
I think it was like Genos or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was Genos.
We were gonna call him Genos or something like that.
Either that or
And
Iron
then
Striker. That's what I have on there.
Iron Strike. We've got something along those lines. As you can tell, once again, we're not completely organized with this. We haven't. Unfortunately, me and Scott haven't exactly had the time to go back completely.
Yes. And basically, what Genos is basically if anyone has seen Dragon Ball Z, you should know what the androids are. And I'm basically an android with weapons and artillery, and basically a walking, talking nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
So that's what
Except
I
this
am.
one doesn't explode.
Yeah, I'm
um.
I'm practically an assassin with nuclear weaponry.
Yes, yes. All I can think of right now is the nuke weapon from Turok 2, if you've seen gameplay of that.
Turok.
Have you seen gameplay for Turok 2?
I've not. I know what Turok is.
Okay, check out Turok 2 sometime. There is a weapon that you can get if you collect all the parts for it. It's called the nuke weapon.
Mm,
Now, somehow miraculously you don't die from it, but it is like the ultimate weapon basically. It'll destroy anything around you.
interesting.
Somehow you're protected from that nuclear blast, but shoot.
All right, buddy. What's next? Come
All
on,
right, so now we have okay, I do remember the character Amelia, and her superhero name is supposed to be Tracer.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we have Tracer. Go ahead and describe Tracer for them since you know more about these characters, you know.
Well, originally it was gonna be uh, Tracer's like character design and model was based off of Josh's design for a superhero in his original um, manga or whatever it was
Yeah, and that
called
was what it was
Legioness.
originally gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah, her name was originally Legioness, and her power was to create multiple clones of herself. Hence, Legioness. And
Yeah.
that's her only power, basically.
So that's what we were. Well, she flies as well.
Okay, well then there's
Yeah.
that. But in
Yeah.
this story, she does have the ability to clone herself. She cannot fly, but she does have a kind of like laser rifle, kind of like the Covenant do, and
Uh huh.
a kind of
From
staff
Halo series, if you
spear
guys
kind
don't
of
know what we're
thing.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
what I thought of it was when I had drawn it was I kind of imagined Ruby's scythe, and that was what I kind of based that her staff off of. Like she has a laser side and a I don't even want. I don't even know. Like it's just a knife on the end, a giant knife on the end of the on the other end of the stick.
Uh huh.
um, and she has like lightning abilities. I believe as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Okay. So
Well,
there
her
is that.
when she strikes uh, the weapon down on the ground, it can create like electrical fields around her on the ground and in the air, so she's
Yeah.
protected from stuff.
Hence the name Tracer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like like how lightning attaches to metal objects or whatever it does, it gets attracted to metal objects and um saps the death out of them. So basically if they were fighting robots, that would become very useful.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to our next character. We have Pyroblast, which was based off of me, and not only me, but my character that I had originally created, the Blazing Runner. So,
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
it's basically the Blazing Runner.
except this guy, Pyroblast is a little bit different. He looks a lot more like me than he does the Blazing Runner. The Blazing Runner is half Hispanic, um, and half white, but this this Pyroblast looks actually a lot more like me and is based on me um, solely. But this one can actually like pull fire from like torches or whatever. If you see fires around, he can like pull from it and use it. Um,
Indeed.
but not only that, but he could. I'm assuming he can just create fire out of thin air as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he can do both basically. So if he draws fire from other places, he has more of a. I guess his power gets like or whatever. You know.
Like what
um.
happens is that he can take and heat energy from the surrounding atmosphere and use it to create fire, basically,
Yeah.
like a firebender.
Yeah.
Um,
Which
the
was
other,
a really cool aspect of it basically.
yeah, the other thing he can do is use his own body like a solar panel to absorb energy from the sun and create a gigantic fireball or firestorm or whatever.
Hmm.
And that's
And once
like,
again, if he is surrounded by fire, that's just draws even more power to him. So,
yes.
um,
However, he does get weakened when it's night, when it's at night and when it's
yep,
cold, because, the yin yang thing.
yeah. It's I mean, it's just it kind of reminds you a lot of Avatar, or at least it reminds me a lot of Avatar: The Last Airbender series.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest series, one of the greatest series of all time. At least for me, everything was just balanced, basically. The romance, the action, the comedy, everything was balanced.
Mm-hmm.
It
Now,
in just a perfect way.
what's another
So
one?
now let's go over another character. Xenoblast. Let's go over Xenoblast, which I cannot remember her quote unquote human name.
Her
Because
human
she's
name
an
is
alien
Maya.
character.
Her
Maya.
human name is
Okay.
Maya.
All right. All right. So, do you want to go ahead and describe her now?
Well, Xenoblast is pretty much as alien as you could get in her actual form. Just like long, kind of spindly arms and legs. Just no real mouth, really, I
She
think.
looks a little more humanoid, basically.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. I think her skin is light blue, and she has psychic
at least from
powers.
what you want to do, yeah.
Yeah, her skin is light blue. She has psychic powers, and in her human form, She has dark blue hair, and doesn't really have anything other than that. I think we put her in like a school uniform kind of thing. Um,
Yeah, we that's one thing we definitely looked at or looked into. So, like
I'm
the
just like,
anime school uniform, but I decided not to make the dress too short.
yeah,
I
I
didn't want to
was,
go with something like that. We're not perverted, basically.
yeah, I'm just like, I don't know what to do for this uh chick,
You
but
design it basically. He's
yeah,
like he kind of took it to me, and it's like at least I think that's what happened. Is
yeah, I
like he
kind of
kind of
did.
took it to
I
me.
kind of wanted four main characters and then a bad guy.
Mm,
So I was like, I don't know what to do for this chick, but that kind of ties into her personality because she's kind of an alien who's forgotten pretty much everything except for her name after she crashes to Earth, and
mhm.
she just goes around trying to learn of her friends and all that stuff. So there's that.
Kind of like it kind of reminds me of uh, I Darien from Sailor Moon. Um, his story was kind of similar in that sense of, he was, like all of them, they were just alien babies basically, and they came from the moon, and
Hmm.
he forgot everything, and it's kind of a similar story basically.
Yeah.
Um,
And the last one we have is, come on, what do you think it is?
all right, the last one, is this a superhero? Because I
This
don't
is the
remember.
bad dude.
Okay, this is a bad dude. Okay, now this I may actually not remember. I'm surprised I remember the other
I'm
ones.
surprised you remember the heroes.
Yeah, that's what I'm really surprised about. Maybe it's because I worked with them long enough, but oh my. Once again, my brain is jumping into that puddle and just trying to drown itself right now, because it can't even handle how stupid I am. Oh man, ice guy thing.
Sub-Zero. That's his
Sub
name.
Zero. There we go. We decided to call him Sub Zero. Like ice actually is, and he has actual ice powers. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
similar to my bad guy, but my bad guy didn't have any actual, superpowers.
Yep.
Um, so yeah.
Yep. And Sub-Zero, we've taken like uh in we took inspiration from, I don't know if anyone has even knows who this is, but Yu-Gi-Oh! I think is 5D's Jack Atlas. Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
We
Jack
took
Atlas.
inspiration
Yeah.
from Jack Atlas in order for
Yeah.
this guy to
Uh,
be to become a person.
in other words, Handsome Jack from the Borderlands collection.
Pretty much. But
Oh.
he's the foil to Josh's character, Pyroblast,
Mhm.
and
And
he's
I'm
got,
hoping you can make him an interesting bad guy too.
yeah, I can
I
try.
kind of want to see, once again, there's some things I kind of want to see, like where, like, he's just kind of like Jack basically from Borderlands. He's kind of funny. Just has this like really interesting character behind him.
I mean, it's not. I can put some funny parts with him, but he's a dark, brooding kind of guy. He's
Yeah,
cold and distant.
yeah. he's,
Pinch the ice, Sub-Zero.
he's he's twisted himself.
Yeah, he goes insane, basically thinking that the next ice age is coming and he's gonna rule the world in an ice kingdom.
Which this guy is an idiot now. So, oh boy.
It also doesn't help that Sub Zero basically had his girl stolen by you.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, she wound up falling for my character, Emilia, basically.
Hmm.
When, uh, I,
I'm impressed you
I,
remembered her first name.
I'm very impressed, really. I don't know how I even remembered that, but, it's just one of those things, I guess. She, you want to describe it
She
this
loved
time?
you, but
For who I
sub
was as a person, she didn't care
she was
for
into
Sub
you.
Zero.
She was
Yeah.
into you, and Sub Zero was into her. She wasn't into Sub Zero, and he didn't care.
He just wanted
I mean,
her.
that's all it is. It's like, I don't like you, but you like me. Get out of my face. No, you're coming with me.
uh,
And that's the
it's sort
story.
of an interesting love triangle,
That's the
like
and that, my friends, is the first season of the manga. That's as far as I've gotten on the
We,
story.
as you can tell, we are once again still disorganized about this. We need to actually come up with a legit first season right now. We're getting close, but once again, we've got work in the way and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just life stuff, basically. Um,
Alright,
you
well, I
know,
think that is all the stuff about our
the
manga
manga series.
so far.
Let's actually before we finish with that portion of the talk. Let's go ahead and talk about the company itself that we are trying to create and my additions to said company.
I don't even remember what it was gonna be called.
Oh, wow, okay. I'm surprised that you don't remember this, really. Alright, so we are going to call this company Omega Entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, you are the original creator, so that would make me co-founder,
Co-owner,
basically.
co-founder, yeah.
Yeah. Um, you want to go ahead and describe the company? Because you should know. I think you would be the one, that has to know this stuff, kind of,
All I remember about it was like we were gonna be um like a comic book kind of company, like a manga
And
comic book
and
kind of
eventually
company.
spread out later when we,
Yeah.
have the money and stuff like that, to animate, like, actual animated
Yeah, like
stuff,
actual
basically.
animation stuff.
And, eventually, like, pretty much what Rooster Teeth did.
Yeah, with
You
Ribbit.
know, Yeah, they did not only the same thing, but they started out with other things at first.
Mhm.
And they had used machinima before, but until Red versus Blue came out, they were never nearly as popular.
Yeah.
Um, Red versus Blue was, one of the biggest hits that they had.
Yep.
Gosh, the funniest show I've probably ever seen in my entire life.
Yep. And people
We've got
watching.
men being impregnated by aliens, stuff like
All right,
that.
man. People watching so far right now. If you actually
Or listening,
are
depending
listening anymore,
on.
and you have some talent in drawing your backgrounds or some character designs that you think would be cool, um, just drop us drop us a comment, leave a like, drop a comment. Um,
And yeah, we need the
hopefully,
all the extra help we can get for now. We cannot pay you just yet.
yeah,
We don't. This isn't even an official company yet, but we would like some help.
yes,
And eventually we can get ourselves out there.
mm-hmm,
Um,
yeah. This is one of the things we would really like to do, but right now we don't know what we're going to be doing for the story. That's
yeah.
one thing.
Um, Not completely, anyways.
Yeah.
Now this kind of ties into my perfect aspect of what I wanted to, add to the company. As a co-founder, co-founders should always have ideas backed up behind them. Um, One thing I definitely want to be able to do is to be able to spread out the different departments and stuff like that to where we have like, like fantasy and,
Of course, of course.
superheroes on one side and fantasy on the other. I know a couple of people that definitely like doing that type of stuff, and I've recommended that eventually they can just come work with us.
I've got a couple of ideas for some like comedy skits or some horror things they
Yeah,
can
we've
do.
got like the comedy section,
Yeah, and
horror,
like
whatever.
mhm.
Um, and it would be you guys' job to come up with the stories and all that kind of stuff. Once again, we're just trying to
We're
create
trying to
somewhat of
engage
another
everyone.
Rooster Teeth, yeah.
We're trying to engage everyone in the
um,
comments in the community.
which is brings me to my next thing that this is kind of a touchy subject and a very serious subject. Um,
Mhm.
we know how America gets with jobs.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to find one nowadays, honestly, unless you get like a minimum wage, weird, stupid job.
Mhm.
As you work for retail, we are trying to, with this company, at least what I'm hoping to do. I know this is just a pipe dream for now, and it may not even happen, but what I am trying to do is to give people jobs who have none, who are talented. If you haven't gone to school and you're at least talented, we need that talent to be here. Basically, we need that talent to be at Omega Entertainment.
Yep.
Um,
And right now, we might not be a business, but hey, we can be friends, and
yeah,
friends can help each other out, and
and
this kind
that's
of
what we're
thing.
also hoping with the job, at least. And I don't get to talk to much of my coworker friends at the retail place that I work at, but and that's what I'm trying to do is because it's retail and stuff. I'm just a bagger right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of forced to be able to pay attention to our customers rather than our coworkers.
Yep.
So we're trying to create a healthy environment to where we do both. We focus on our customers and our employees. Something that what I am hoping to come up with. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
because I've seen like video game industries and they all love to work together, no matter who they are, no matter if you're freaking 343, which is I want to say the worst company to ever exist, but at least they all care about each other and they all at least try to love what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, Arbiter, I think we are just about out of time.
all right,
We do have a few subjects to touch up on next podcast, but
yeah,
until then, drop a like, drop a comment, and we'll see you later.
all right. We'll see you guys later. And once again, this is Ultimate Arbiter 117.
And Omega Buster 101
All right,
signing
we're
off.
signing off.